Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase and review we're going to be looking at the 2008 Transformers Universe Deluxe Silverstreak figure. So what we're going to do with this video, we're going to have a detailed look at him in both his modes to help you decide how you want to display him. We'll have a look at the accessories that come with him to help you know if yours is complete. We're going to do some comparisons with him and his original Generation 1 self. We can then have a quick look at some of the other versions of him that have been released as well, including and right up to the latest version of him I've got at the making of this video, which is the Earthrise version. So as you can see, quite a lot to get through with you on this video. So before we get started, I'd like to remind anybody who's not a subscriber to this channel, if they'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please, because it really will help me out. And what we're going to do today for a change, we're going to start off with him in his alternate mode, which is of course a modified Nissan 350Z. And the main reason for this is A, you can see this is how he came packaged, and B, if you were to purchase one of these on the secondary market now, I pretty much would guarantee he will come packaged or wrapped up neatly in this alternate mode, which I think it looks great. You've got the red wheel trims, of course you've got the black tyres, they are all plastic unfortunately. You've got the lovely detail on the spoiler, you've got the tail lights, you've got some detail of where the exhausts are. There's the nice shaded or frosted translucent window, which is pretty good because under there is his guns, etc., so you can't really see too much. You can see through it, which is nice, but you can't see too much. We've got the lovely Autobot insignia there at the front, we've got the silver on the grille, and if you turn it upside down, to be honest, there's not too much. I mean, you can maybe tell that they're the arms there, but it's not too bad. It does, I suppose, what it says on the tin. It disguises the robot parts pretty well, especially from the outside. Now the funny thing about this figure is it's just the fact, obviously, his name, Silverstreak, Bluestreak, they changed the name quite a lot. The original figure, of course, was his Generation 1 self, which is Bluestreak, which is this figure here. I'm just going to move this out of the way just to get rid of the glare for a second. And this is how he was originally released. Now the interesting thing with this guy is he's just got a completely silver hood. So when he was in his car mode, this again is a G1 figure next to it, it didn't have any of the black on it at all. Now the black version is an original one. If you've got it pre-Transformers, so we know Autobot logos on it, it is a very rare Diaclone version of this figure, and as a homage to that, they did do a e-hobby version. So this isn't the original Diaclone one, this is the e-hobby version that came out in 2003, and it's got the black hood on. So the crazy thing is that it never originally had the black on it or the blue, which is again where the Bluestreak name came from. And I'm not going to bring any Bluestreaks in because that will probably confuse the matter even more. Funnily enough, even the Masterpiece version, which we can have a look at again in a second, in when we've got the robot mode, has the black hood. So it's something that I think it was great that they managed to do and make the figure, as I say, way back in 2008. We might as well have a quick look at the packaging now while we've got this here. Let's move him out of the way. So as I've already said, he comes in his alternate mode. That screen's a little bit clearer than mine, to be honest. Maybe mine is just a little bit more play worn. There's the weapon I'm going to show you in a second. You can see that they're calling him Silverstreak. We've got the artwork there, but that looks very much like Prowl, doesn't it? Very much. I know obviously it is a reuse and redeco of the Prowl mold, but they could have at least maybe done a little bit more difference in the artwork. There is the figure, and as you can see, they really have got the light blue windows, whereas mine isn't that color really at all. If I bring this there, it says Volt Beam Blasters, which I can show you in a second, and we've got an advert for other figures in the same toy line, and there's again a picture of him in his alternate mode. So I think that's pretty much covered all bases for the alternate mode. We're going to come back now, and he's going to be in his robot mode. Just one very quick thing I just need to show you before we go to the robot mode, and I mentioned it, there is of course his blaster, which is his weapon. You can see this will fold out for when he's in robot mode, but what we need to do, if you want to, when he's in alternate mode, if you fold it over like so, keep your eye on this little tab and the fact that the whole part of here will slot in to this on the underside. So what we're going to do, we're literally just going to pop this down into position there. You'll hear it click into place, and it does in fact hold and store it there, so you can store the weapon away nice and safely while he's in his alternate mode as well if you want. Right, now we're coming back in robot mode. Right then, we're back for the final time and he's in his robot mode, and the main reason for this is the way that I'm going to choose to be displaying him. Quick apologies for no transformation process on this video. There's a few reasons this time. One is to keep the length of the video down, two is not to spoil it for people who don't want to see it, and three, the main reason, which you will see if you do watch the transformation video because there's a few outtakes in it, that I have learned that this video was definitely pre-owned and very pre-loved. I did buy it recently from a toy fair and a lot of the joints are very, very loose, and the doors and the wings and everything just keep popping off, which again you'll see in a separate video, and I didn't want to make this one too long. So if we have a look, you can definitely see now, of course, that it is the redeco of the prowl mold. These are the weapons that were concealed, hidden, which you could see in the windscreen, and again, as you can see, my windscreens they're not the same blue as what you've got in the stock photos. These are the doors and wings in question that keep coming off, but articulation wise, the shoulders will go out, they will go up. You've got bicep flexion as well, it won't go back. You've got wrist twist, you've got waist swivel, you've got hips, which you can see here on a ball and socket, you've got a knee bend, and I suppose to some degree you haven't got an ankle rock, but you do have a tilt. So again, for such an old figure, it really is great. Again, you can see we've got the blue there on the hips. It maybe would have been a bit better with a bit of the blue on the windscreens and the one at the back. Most things in it, to be honest, are tucked away quite neatly. I know there's a bit of a gap there, but again, this is mainly where the feet tuck in, and it is only at the back, and it's a very, very old figure now, so it's, you know, it's forgiven for having these gaps. The weapon, which we've already just seen in the alternate mode, we're just going to fold out, and I'm going to pop it in this particular hand. If I want to be a bit pedantic, it's a shame that the missile launchers on his shoulders, or as they call them, Volt beam, oh no, this must be the Volt beam blaster. Yeah, the missile launchers on his shoulders, it is a shame that they don't fire, but I don't know if this is due to either cost cutting or safety reasons, but it could have just been a nice little addition to it. I'm sure you'll agree that the silver paint apps really work on it, and the fact that we've got a couple of different tones or a couple of different shades of silver. As you can see, this is a bit darker, a bit more like a gunmetal grey, and the rest of it is all sort of shiny. Again, let's bring in the original G1 so you can see just how much taller he is than him. This is a real big step up in the figure class. Of course, it's nowhere near in this league, but of course it's nowhere near in this league with the price point either, so there's not much point going into differences between articulation and all that. The most, I suppose, important, or recent is the exact word, but the most important comparison will be to do with his latest version. So in fact, let's move this guy out of the way because he's bigger, isn't he? Yeah, this one is bigger. This is the newest version, so this is the most updated. That's the word that I was after. So we can see how they've improved over the years. You know, there's a good 12 years between these figures, and of course they've improved them, but it's nice to see the differences between them in hand right there. But again, I don't think there's much more I can say about this guy. He does look great. He is a classic character. He's always going to be reissued and re-released down the generations toy lines, and yeah, he's just a great character. And I suppose the fact that there's all this little bit of uncertainty and mystery around Bluestreak, Silverstreak, Black Hood, Silver Hood, Blue Hood, etc., it just adds that little bit more interest to the character. I'm just going to do one thing. It makes it look like this is just for a bit of fun, but this is just where I'm going to end the video and say thank you very much for watching, and of course keep your ideas and suggestions coming in for other figures, and please take care, guys.
Thanks for watching. Like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe.